The youth today crave something real. They are surrounded by plastic, photoshopped falsehoods and facades that seem never-ending to their short-sighted minds. They did not live through childhoods of harsh rigidity or uncomfortable structure. Instead, they grew from a confusing kind of freedom inspired by postmodern, Crowleyist, nihilist, hippie Satanists, where they are left to choose even the most basic parts of their identities for themselves. They did not live through the revolutions of their parents and grandparents, but instead are told horror stories of a racist, sexist, homophobic time where men provided, mothers bonded with their children all day, and families went to church on Sunday. They are taught in history class after history class that they are lucky to live without such awful standards. But when their parents divorce because mom is too tired to be both breadwinner and homemaker, when they wallow in loneliness because heterosexual love is oppressive, when they question how this world all came from nothing, they wonder, was it really so bad? Was it really so bad to have a mom that mothered, a dad who showed what a man is supposed to be, a spouse that was forever, and a God that was real? Was a religion whose commandments led its followers to live such a life really oppressive? But then, when they look to the modern church, it's not much different from the world. The church reassures them that tradition is unnecessary, marriage and children are optional, and legalism, structure, is poisonous. They look to the behavior, attitude, and even appearance of such lukewarm Christians, and they feel even worse. Even the church that they wanted to be their safe haven is compromised. The modern church seems like a response to the past generations who were anti-authoritative, who had lived through the civil rights era, and who needed constant reassurance that they weren't being judged more than they needed the truth, Jesus. But we are not boomers or Gen Xers, we're barely millennials. Rather, we're a new breed, a generation who might as well have been brought up in ancient Rome. While we may have been spoiled by technology, we are starving when it comes to structure and salvation. This and future generations do not need a church that lies to us, that comforts or reassures us. We crave something real, remember? We crave structure. We crave a family of our own, a true husband or wife, and a perfect father that judges us and loves us perfectly. Making the church even more lukewarm is to directly turn off new believers and seekers of the light. We don't go to church to wear trendy clothes, listen to pop music, and listen to a so-called preacher blabber a self-absorbed, buzzword-filled self-help speech. We go to church to find what we don't in the world. We go to church to hear wisdom, to study scripture, to meet and gather with fellow believers, and to worship God. We go to church in search of something real, and we should be able to find it there.